Five, four, three, two, one, and we are live. Woo! Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for a episode of 30 Days of Thought, brought to you by Lucido and Berman. So if you want to know what we're up to, you can catch other episodes of 30 Days of Thought by Lucido and Berman by just going to hashtag Lucido and Berman. So Paul and I, a little more than a year ago, we were trying to find ways that we can become more comfortable with being uncomfortable. So we said, hey, listen, I was reading this book by Doran, 30 Days of Thought. The book that basically, what it has you do is as you read the book, read actually the word, you write down your thoughts from whatever you just read, and then record a video. Paul and I just said, F it, let's not record it, let's just go live with it, because we need to do this. We need to do this more. We need to be more comfortable. For years I've been good at like the scripted, video. Here are my list of questions for this person that I'm interviewing, but not good at the live. So Paul enabled us to do that. Today, our focus is going to be, oh my goodness, wait, hold on for a second. Let me pull it back up. It is, I quit every day. I'm the entrepreneur. So Paul, we're going to do this a little differently today, right?
We sure are.
Okay. So Paul is there, and you're not actually at your headquarters, so you're not at Corona, California right now, though, right?
Not today. I'm at the home office, and I'm in my digital disruption shirt here, or hoodie, whatever you want to call this. A little more on the casual side today.
I like it. I'm glad. I'm glad you get to see the casual Lucido. So we normally start this off with Paul, because Paul does a really good analysis and kind of goes really deep. And I mean, the reality is, like, he's able to read this in a much better way than I am. And I think actually, to Paul's credit, I usually actually pull things from Paul's analysis of 30 Days of Thought that I just don't even come from organically when I read it myself. But today, this is a topic that hits home. So I'm going to read the excerpt from the section. I must decide, and I must be to face the day. I quit every day. I'm the entrepreneur. Let me read that one more time. I must decide, and it must be to face the day. I quit every day. I'm the entrepreneur. So here's what I got out of this. And I feel weird actually going out doing this and coming off actually, being the person that comes out of this, because you do this so well, but I'm going to do it anyway. So I quit every day because I'm the entrepreneur. So I think about this, and it's something that a buddy of mine used to say all the time. As entrepreneurs, every day we start with a blinking cursor. Like, we literally, we wake up every morning, we're fired. Like, if we decide to do nothing, it's over. It's gonzo for us. So we look at actually at every day actually, that being like a day that we have to motivate, that we have to get out of bed, of not actually be sucked into this, but we do it actually, and we do it actually without question. We become excited about it, and we're empowered by that. We're empowered. We know actually we have a team of people that are waiting for us, that are going to go on, but they need some kind of guidance and leadership. But I'll tell you actually, and this talking about the entrepreneurship, because I recently, my dad and I, we became a non-entrepreneur. We became employees, which is a very weird thing. Because listen, I got to say, like, it was a day actually when we finally did that, where we felt actually a relief. There's that, but one of the things that Jay talks about is the four-letter word in entrepreneurial, in being an entrepreneur, is QUIT, QUIT, because entrepreneurs, we just can't quit. There's no quit. There's no quitting. We quit actually, and we say actually, okay, we give up. Then the lights don't get paid, and our employees don't have food on their table. I mean, we went actually through the financial crisis where things got really, really ugly. And we just had to figure out a way where we were able to maintain actually the business going, keep the lights on, because quitting is not an option when you're an entrepreneur. It's just because you can't quit, because you quit, your employees' families aren't going to eat. So there's a lot of pressure in that, but it's something that we thrive on, and that's something actually that's motivated us. My dad's always been an entrepreneur. My dad's been an entrepreneur from going back actually to his early pre-teen years, selling greeting cards, and there's a bunch of entrepreneur stories that he has in his background, and he gave me the entrepreneurial bug, and it becomes and when you become a non-entrepreneur, and I still am an entrepreneur because of my other businesses, but it's a very weird thing. So that's what I got out of this. I got actually that the idea is that quitting is not something that you're able to do as an entrepreneur. You're fired every day, and that's why you're saying I quit every day. I'm the entrepreneur. That's what I got out of this. What about you, Paul?
Wow. Well, I think it's interesting to hear your perspective for sure. So there were a lot of things swimming around in my mind as you were, expressing your perspectives. So for me,
or pontificating.
No, we are going to pontificate a little, and that's good. So here's the thing. Entrepreneur for me is kind of a free-spirited term. It's in some cases it lacks structure. It's kind of unorthodox. You're kind of out there, free-spirited, doing your thing. The idea is do what you love to do and make money at doing it. But every day you get up, you only have one person to answer to, and that is to yourself. And I remember, for example, around 1990, was when I began to get the bug to want to become an entrepreneur. There's a podcast I did with Doran where we actually talked about that. He was fishing for questions and pulling some stuff out of me just to kind of get an idea of where I've been. And I can tell you that there's something to be said about having a structured job, an 8-to-5 job. There's something about that's good and it's safe. And most of us growing up, our parents were those people, and they kind of laid the groundwork. This is what you do. You work for 30 years, and then you retire, you get the golden handshake. Well, good luck with that. That doesn't happen anymore. Very far and few in between. Maybe if you're in public service, if you're a police officer, somebody like that, that might still ring true. But for most of us, we really have to rely on ourselves, our own resources, our own grit, our own motivation. That's why you see so many people right now on the internet, especially in our industry, doing podcasts like we're doing. What is it all designed to? To keep people engaged, to keep people motivated, to keep them be leading in that entrepreneurial spirit. And I believe even in a corporate structured environment, there is a place for the entrepreneurial spirit to grow and to live and to foster. I myself have a structured sort of world in that I am a marketing officer for a company. I have I am what's called an exempt employee. So it doesn't matter what hours I work, you get paid what you get paid, right? So at the end of the day, what it boils down to is while there's some structure there, I also have the ability to bring in that entrepreneurial spirit into everything that I do, that I apply, that I try to create, that I try to get into motion. And I try to also foster that type of a spirit in the people that we work with. The company I work for, as you all know, is built by originators for originators, which speaks to the entrepreneurial spirit. These people don't eat. They're only as good as their last loan. So correct, Andrew? So the idea is if you're a loan officer, if you're somebody in sales, okay, you are the entrepreneur. Okay, if you're somebody on the operations side, you're not going to be as entrepreneurial minded because you're basically reacting to all the work that's coming into you. You got a catcher's mitt on and you're just catching everything and trying to process it and get it through the mill. And we need that. You can't have one without the other. But I think it's fair to say that being an entrepreneur takes a lot of guts, takes a lot of perseverance, belief in oneself. You have to really, truly believe in yourself. You cannot let others bring you down, and you're going to have some bad days along the way. And you can't let those bad days, take away from all the good. If you were to pull away empirically, you're probably making progress. But when you're in a valley down here we are in COVID-19, right? We're dealing with the pandemic, forcing us to be a little more entrepreneurial-like. Here I am working from my home space, my home office. I'm governing my activities. I'm, here making sure that I keep things in flow. So there's things that I'm doing that kind of have an entrepreneurial kind of vibe to it or spirit to it, versus having somebody just tell me, I need this done, we need this done, you need to get this done, and you need to get that done. However, there is something to be said about having structure, isn't there, Andrew?
Yep.
You got to have some structure. So even if you're an entrepreneur, you still need to have some structure, but you have to establish what that structure is, that order is. So that's what I kind of got out of it. But I think the message that Jay, for me, was trying to get across was, if you really read it and you read the metaphor, he's talking about the internal struggle, the conflict that he's having of being an entrepreneur versus not being one. Waking up every day, does he choose to just keep hitting the alarm clock, snooze, 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 and snooze his way into the next day? And the old saying is, you snooze, you lose. Or do you face the day with vigor, and you go out and you conquer? You pick up a spear. Entrepreneurs have spears. They hunt. They're hunters. Okay, and that's what they do.
They only eat what they kill.
Pretty much. So, yeah, and it's not an easy thing to do. I've been on both sides of the fence, and so I have appreciation for both, which is I've become the sum of my own experiences. But I got to tell you, if you are a true entrepreneur, tough word, you have guts. It takes guts.
Well, something I look at your role as you're almost like a hybrid entrepreneur. Because listen, I know actually the way you kind of are, kind of like a brand steward, and listen, I'm gonna bet money actually, if you're walking by the hall and there's a piece of paper on the floor, you're gonna go and pick it up. If there's a paper clip and you're in a meeting, and this is I always actually notice little things like this, and you could tell the entrepreneur when they do things like this. And this is something I could see you do, where someone might actually take that little paper clip and throw it in the garbage, as opposed to taking the extra step to actually take that one little paper clip and put it back actually in the paper clip dispenser. It's so minor and such an insignificant thing, but that is something actually the entrepreneur does. It's little things like that actually, where you go out of your way actually, and unconsciously do things for your organization, in ways actually that you don't. And listen, you run a team of people. So like you have the same actually a lot of the same pressures that an entrepreneur has. But I think actually the nice thing is that actually that you also as actually a C-level executive for a large mortgage lender who just broke $1 billion a month in production. We know actually, you have some safety and security behind you, which allows you to be more creative and to be more actually, to not have to worry about actually, okay, how am I going to actually, make sure that we have enough, resources to be able to do the next level, to do the next thing, but you're able to focus on, okay, what do we need to do actually to make sure that our brand keeps growing and doing the things that you need to do to support actually, your entrepreneurs that are out there.
You bring up a really good point, and the point that stuck with me there was, and by the way, it's kind of weird because I think it might be OCD with me. I tend to go and straighten pictures out on walls sometimes. And I think a lot of that is an aesthetic thing. And it might be just a little bit of an OCD thing. But
potentially
being tethered in a safe kind of way. So if you are a C-level executive, yeah, you can say, oh, you got a cushy job, you're safe and secure. Not really. There's a lot of pressure that comes with that chair. And a lot of it is, can you be creative? Can you start thinking about what's next? Where are we going? What's the next step? You know, there's something to be said about being in a position where you're being fed the work and you're churning and burning and people love you because you can crank and you can get things done and get it done on time. And boy, people like that. Companies like people that get the job done. So you got to have a little bit of that in you. I always use the motto, nobody is above the work, okay? Meaning that a good way to lead in today's world, and I know we're going on a leadership tangent here, but is to lead by example, to show others, to demonstrate that you're willing to get in, roll up your sleeves and make things happen. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a place for everyone. But today's modern marketing officer, today's modern entrepreneur has to have the ability to do a little bit of everything. They've got to be well-rounded. And I think that if you've worked in the corporate environment, if you've been in the structured side of things, if you understand the law and order of things, it actually gives you something that you could have to give you a foundation for when you're ready to take that step to go out into the entrepreneurial world, which is not an easy place to go. And you got to now rely on your own creativity, your own resources, your own ability to react to situations as they present themselves to you. There's a lot to it. It's actually a very complex state of mind. And so I tip my hat off to a lot of people out there that are the true entrepreneur. And it has nothing to do with whether you're a loan officer or not. I'm talking about anything that requires you to go out there and make it happen on your own. You create the work. You put it in motion. And so definitely, yeah. But the thing I guess where I wanted to kind of go with all of it was, there is a balance there, Andrew, that you've got to have. And I think the ones that are truly successful at it have a good work-life balance. They know how to keep themselves charged every day, recharging their batteries every day. You got to find a way to do that. Those are things that you just got to bring into it. So.
Yeah, I don't know. Work-life balance, something I have to say, only recently that I think I actually have a good work-life balance. I think the coronavirus gave me a work-life balance because I'm able to spend more time here. So like I was never really good at the work-life balance. So
it's definitely tricky to navigate for the most part. But I go back to the same thing. If you have had some of those other experiences, those are good resources, good foundations that you can kind of keep your feet grounded to help you as you navigate, the unknown. Again, being an entrepreneur right now, there's a lot of unknowns out there. There's a lot of uncertainty out there. It's like the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, which has to do with particle theory. You don't know where the electron really is. Okay, good luck with finding it. But the point is, right now there's kind of a hidden gem here. Being put into a predicament where we are now forced to work remotely, really embrace working remotely, where we are having to adapt and change, is actually a good thing. It only makes us stronger. When things finally do return, okay, you're going to have another feather in your cap, another arrow in your quiver, that if we get back to something like this, you'll have your sea legs now. You'll know how to navigate this. So there's always the glass half full versus half empty. I like to always look at things in a positive light, and I think that's how most of us should as we move we move forward. Don't get your wheels caught in the mud,
Yeah. Yep.
So.
Always look on the bright side of life.
Right. Good song.
Fantastic. All right. Beautiful. All right. So we have a section for next week.
Gosh, I haven't even looked. I'll pick something, and I hope we did justice to this one. How about this one? Systems don't replace people. Systems don't replace people. And it looks like, let's see what Jay has here. Here's the abstract. Without thought, there is no creation, and creations are the birthplace of innovation. Systems don't replace people. I like this one.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
It sounds like a good one for you.
It sounds like a good one for me. I'll probably be able to dig my teeth into it. Again, thank you for kicking this one off. This one for me was a little bit a little tricky to navigate.
I'm not even sure. I honestly, I'm not even sure if I captured the message of what Jay said. I just went on what what I pulled from it. But that's the beauty of this book. This book is actually that there's no way to take the wrong perception of it. It's how you perceive it. Whatever your perception is, it's okay. It's weird actually comparing 30 Days of Thought to the Bible, but it's like the Bible, and everyone has a different perspective of what the New Testament, the Old Testament. Everyone takes a different meaning of it. 30 Days of Thought, every section means something to different people. I'm sure actually if we catch our buddy Jimmy DeLay doing the same thing, he's going to have a completely different take on it. So
Jimmy DeLay is actually doing a very good job. I've been following the way he does it. He actually does it in a way where he quickly gets the message across. He even has closed captioning. The guy is doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
But again, you were going down a path that I think is important. Jay's book, Read to Think, Write to Develop, Listen to What is Unsaid, and Speak to Let Go. That's essentially what this book is about. So when you read it, you're getting some development there, you're thinking, and ultimately what you're going to do is you're going to regurgitate your own thoughts outwardly. And that's what it's designed to do. So there is no right, wrong. It's just more of open, I'm going to call it subjective interpretation. Everybody's going to have a slightly different take, but it's interesting to hear all the different takes. And I thought you did a very good job there, Andrew, to be honest with you.
Thank you. All right. Until next week, thank you everyone for watching. Appreciate it.